Hey guys, Eric here. Just wanted to bring this quick little breakdown of what happened on AEW's Full Gear. It's currently 1:35, so forgive me if you hear any noises in the background. I did not have time to get my soundproof room together, but basically we're gonna go down the card and discuss what happened real quick on Full Gear. Be sure to check out our podcast on Monday where we will discuss everything that happened in detail. But for right now, let's get through this real quick. Over on the AEW YouTube page, Serena Deeb fought Allison for the NWA Women's Championship. Serena would successfully defend the championship in what's a pretty solid match. Definitely worth checking out if you haven't seen it. I kind of wish this was on the main card because I think two strong women's matches would have made this card even better, but definitely worth checking out. The key takeaway from this match is that Thunder Rosa made an appearance and we are going to get a rematch. I think if this leads to Thunder Rosa versus Serena on AEW television, that's great for everyone. AEW will finally, well, not finally, but AEW will have a great women's match. NWA will get that great promotion and everyone comes out winner. So I'm all for this. All in all, definitely worth checking out this match. Opening match of the card on the actual pay-per-view was Hangman versus Kenny Omega. I loved that this was the opening match because I've been waiting. We've all been waiting so long for this match to happen. My only critique of this match, it was a very solid match. But I don't think it lived up to all the hype. I hope this is not the only Hangman Kenny match we get of this feud. Personally, I was kind of hoping for more, but the match was good. There was definitely some storytelling of it. The idea that Kenny and Hangman know each other so well that they knew what the other one would do. Anytime Hangman tried to go for the buckshot, Kenny would hit the V trigger. Kenny would try to hit the one-winged angel. Hangman would break away. Very solid match. It was a great opener. I just really hope this is not it. I hope this is not the culmination of a year of storytelling because it wasn't worth it if it is. But solid match. Next up, Orange Cassidy versus John Silver. I think I said on the podcast before that I don't like that this match replaced Serena and Allison Kay, but I will say I'm kind of glad it did now. Post-match, I'm glad it did because the second match of any pay-per-view card, I'm not going to say the worst, but it should be your least hyped match because you're kind of coming down from your amazing opener. So John Silver and Cassidy, this was, well, we'll get to another match later, but on paper, this match should have been the second match on the card. It was a comical match. Silver ripped out the pockets of Orange Cassidy. Cassidy got some offense in, but Silver showed off what he can do. He's a pretty strong guy. At one point, he hit a one-handed gorilla press slam, so that was pretty impressive. But Cassidy would get the win. Also, I forgot to say this. Hangman would lose the opener. Kenny Omega won the opening match. My apologies for forgetting to say that. But Orange Cassidy would win the second match, him versus John Silver. Nothing special about this match. It was about what you expect. It was an AEW Dynamite match. Like I said, after watching it, I think this match should have gone before the main event. But we'll get to that spot and I'll tell you why. Next up, we have the AEW TNT Championship on the line between Cody Rhodes and Darby Allin. I've always thought that either MJF or Darby should be the ones to take away the title from Cody, and I'm very glad that it was Darby. It had to happen. Darby, the whole story between Cody and Darby is that Darby is just so close to beating Cody, but be a time limit draw, one little slip up. Cody has never really beaten Darby definitively, so it makes sense that over time Darby would finally get that win. And it was no way. Like, I didn't see it coming. It was a roll up, I believe. So Darby won. Post match, Cody got down on one knee and presented him the title. So that was a pretty cool moment. And then Team uh, Taz, Brian Cage, and Absolute Ricky Starks come out and destroy both of them. And just as they're about to break his arm with the car he used to enter, Will Hobbs comes out, saves the day. And I still think Will Hobbs is going to turn and join Team Taz, but we'll see what happens. But with that, Darby Allin is your new TNT champion. Next up on the card, a match I didn't think it was going to be this good. I've eaten my words. Hikaru Roshida versus Nyla Rhodes for the Women's Championship. This match, at this point, was my match of the night. I really like this match. Shida and Nyla threw everything they could at each other. The big story here, I think, was that Nyla was overconfident. She, at one point, hit a power bomb, not the beast bomb, as Excalibur would point out, and she lifted Shida up. She didn't try to win. She thought, I'm going to beat you with your own move. And that failed, and Shida would eventually do the same thing. She would hit her move, pick up Nyla, and say, no, we're not done here yet. So, very good match. This match, I want to say it's top 3. Maybe when we go down every match, I'll change my mind. But very nice match. Hikaru Shida retains the title. And post-match, Vicky and Nyla have a shouting fight that ends with Vicky slapping Nyla and walking away. We'll cover it more on the podcast, but personally, I'm not a big fan of this because the entire match and the promo packages, Vicky has been saying, my challenge, and making it seem as if she's the one in the match, which maybe that's her intention. Maybe she wants to do that. But I personally am not a fan of managers getting themselves over. But without a doubt, this match was great. I recommend it to anyone who, if you skip matches for some reason on pay-per-views, do not skip this one. Next up, my personal pick for match of the night, FTR versus the Young Bucks for the AEW Tag Team Championship. I'm not gonna lie, going 5 minutes or 10 minutes into this match, I did not think it was gonna be good. I didn't think that it was gonna be match of the night. It was a very slow pace, but as the match picked up, it was great. It was no way to put it. It was great. We had some references to other tag teams. The Young Bucks at one point did a 3D, and they did the extreme combination of the Twist of Fate and the Swanton. Meanwhile, FTR, they did the meeting in the middle from DIY on NXT, and Steiner Brothers, Avalanche Bulldog, they pulled out some classic moves. The big story of the match, however, was that Matt Jackson's ankle was injured, and he sold it perfectly. At no point did you question the injury. They went to it back and forth. So many points. You thought this injury was going to cost them the win, but in the end, what cost FTR their tag team championship was the idea that what's his name? Not Dawson. Wheeler. I'm sorry, guys. It's almost 2 a.m. Wheeler tried to he did do a 450 splash to Matt Jackson, and it missed. And then Matt would hit him with a super kick with the injured ankle, and that would lead to the 1-2-3. So right now, finally, it's been a long time coming. The Young Bucks are indeed the AEW World Tag Team Champions. After that, Kenny would come out and congratulate them. It'd be a big emotional moment. We know that Kenny and the Bucks are still super tight, even though the Elite have basically fragmented. But something that's I think was the best post-match moment of the entire show was you could see Hangman was hanging out in the entrance tunnels with a drink in his hand, and you could tell he wanted to, at least I think he wanted to go out there and congratulate them, but he couldn't because, again, the long-term story booking about Hangman Page basically getting rid of all his friends. So I don't think we're done yet with Hangman and Kenny. I hope not. I really hope not. I don't think we're done with Hangman and the Bucks even. So we'll see what happens. This was definitely my pick for match of the night. Congratulations to the Young Bucks. They are finally AEW Tag Team Champions. Next up, we have Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara in an Elite Deletion match. And I have to say, this match kind of disappointed me. I went in with... This is weird to say about a deletion match because you should never expect anything. But I kind of went in with expectations that we were going to see something crazy. We were going to see Matt Hardy doing some craziness in the Lake of Reincarnation. We'd see him doing all types of wackiness. But this wasn't that. This was more of a grounded as a deletion match could be. This could have easily passed for a Falls Count Anywhere hardcore match. The craziest moments of this match were Matt Hardy starting the match off in a monster truck and crushing Sammy G's golf cart. What else was there? At one point, Hurricane Helms shows up and he changes from the Hurricane back into Shane. And then Gangrel was there. So there were some crazy moments. It's just, we've seen crazier. Sammy G definitely paid back all his receipts. He took some very heavy bumps, especially at the end of the match. The dude took, basically, Matt Hardy threw the chair in his face the way Sammy did to him. But obviously, you could tell it was safe. Matt Hardy had his hand over the actual chair. So it was the same spot, but safer. Matt would end the match with basically a concerto. And it was a very gruesome match. This was Matt Hardy we've not seen in a long time. This was extreme Matt Hardy. So with that in mind, it wasn't a bad match. It just wasn't what I expected. But Matt Hardy would pull off the win, throw Sammy Guevara into a trash can, and basically throw him away. Cast him off as obsolete. Next up on the card, this match is very hard to talk about. I highly recommend you guys check out our podcast on Monday because I think I'm going to flat out say it. This is the worst AEW pay-per-view match ever. This might have been the worst AEW match, period. But this was not a good match. This was a bad match. I am personally sorry. I haven't even said what it is yet. Chris Jericho versus MJF. If MJF wins, he's in the inner circle. I am all for heel versus heel, face versus face. I was really looking forward to this because I thought MJF and Jericho could do it, but I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I think Jericho is out of shape. And I'm not saying that to diss him because I am not in shape right now. I am in the opposite of shape. But you could tell that the match was very slow, very, not methodical, not like Randy Orton slow. This was Chris Jericho wrestling at a very slow pace, and MJF was wrestling just as slow to match him. They were trying to out-cheat each other at certain points. You could hear Jericho calling out spots. Like at one point, you could hear him, and the camera angle doesn't help him either, but you could hear and see him like calling Aubrey to come here so that he could use her as a distraction. It just was not a good match. This is honestly the worst match I think I can say from AEW. In the end, the finish was honestly the best part. As Naki pointed out jokingly, but it's kind of true. The finish was the best part because it was over and kind of because of the finish. In the end, MJF would try to hit Jericho with a diamond ring. He'd miss. Jericho would then get Floyd the Bat and get ready to hit MJF. MJF would pull an Eddie Guerrero, feint. Aubrey would think, oh, you hit MJF, oh my. And MJF would roll him up. I can't say this enough. I think this match is skippable. Which it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be for MJF and Chris Jericho. That's a very bad thing to say. In the end, they're still hinting that not everything is kosher because even though Jericho and MJF were hugging it out and happy, Hager and Wardlow were staring daggers into each other. personally, I think Wardlow was the MVP of this match. The guy literally just walks in at the end, and I thought just for walking, he was MVP. There was nothing else about this match that's redeemable. Yeah, it was a very disappointing match. I think John Silver and Orange Cassidy should have been this match. I honestly believe that this match should have been the second match on the card, because that's where your worst match on paper should go. But I mean, I'm sure you can't tell Chris Jericho, hey, you're going to get the second spot in this card. So I don't know. Maybe next pay-per-view they can sort it out, but this was not a good match for the spot it was given. And finally, Jon Moxley versus Eddie Kingston in an I Quit match. I honestly tried very hard to keep my feelings from the last match out of this one, but I couldn't. I think MJF and Jericho ruined this match for me slightly. I also think personally, I am not a fan of hardcore matches anymore, which is a shame because I used to love them. I honestly used to love hardcore matches, but I didn't love this match. I think the internet will, because I'm not the biggest fan of Eddie Kingston, but I think a lot of people online are. I've seen a lot of positive review for him. So I think this will be positively reviewed. I personally didn't like it, but it was a very brutal match. At one point, Eddie Kingston dropped thumbtacks into the ring and dropped Moxley on them. At one point, Moxley brought out the barbed wire bat, which has become his signature weapon. Kingston would rip off a piece of barbed wire with his bare hands and punch Moxley. The coolest spot I'll give them props for, because this is such a small detail that they didn't have to do, but they did it, is during the match while Moxley's back is bleeding because of the thumbtacks, Eddie Kingston actually got alcohol, like rubbing alcohol, and poured it all over Moxley. And they could have easily just gotten water and done that, but it was alcohol. You could tell it was alcohol because it dried off very quickly. So props to them for going all the way. I don't know what I would rate this match, but in the end, Moxley would win. In the end, Moxley would win by taking a piece of barbed wire, wrapping it around the throat of Eddie Kingston, and applying the bulldog choke, which Kingston would utter the words, "I quit," very quietly, and the match would be over. Moxley retains the championship. He tries to help up his friend Eddie Kingston. Kingston refuses and walks away. And as Moxley's cheering, out comes Kenny Omega, laying down the foundation for the next feud. I don't know when this match is going to take place. I can't imagine we're going to have to wait till Revolution, because that's in February. But I'm very looking forward to this match. I can't wait, because I think Moxley's going to lose. I think Kenny is going to either win or Hangman is going to interfere. But I'm looking forward to it. So that's the breakdown for AEW Full Gear. Please check out the podcast on Monday. We'll have more opinions from you. Zach and Aki will give their opinions. We'll go more in depth with it. But all in all, very solid show. I would give the show a B, maybe a B plus. That Jericho MJF match really brought the show down. It was an awful match. This was a match that Jericho should really look at this match and ask himself, how do I fix this for next time? Because this doesn't hurt Jericho. This hurts MJF, a future star. Match of the night, in my opinion, goes to the Young Bucks and FTR for an amazing match. If you have been following our predictions videos, then you know, unfortunately, right now, the winner and current champion is Naki. Well, that's it for now, guys. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. Stay in the know. We'll let you know when new videos are coming out. We've got plenty of content coming out. Thank you for watching. Peace out.